take 1.5 pounds of skinless chicken. Then you're gonna mix in a 1/4 cup of low-fat buttermilk. Now, buttermilk helps to tenderize the chicken. So I'm going to seal this up, and I'm gonna smush it all around, and then I'm gonna let it marinate for about 30 minutes or up until overnight. Just keep it right in the fridge. Now we're gonna set up our 3-step dipping station, starting with a 1/2 cup of whole grain flour. And now I'm gonna add a teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon ground black pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And I'm just gonna mix that up. Next up, we're going to add in here 2 whole eggs, or you could do 3 egg whites, 1 tablespoon of low-fat buttermilk, you could also do water, and a tablespoon of hot sauce. I'm gonna mix this up. Our last dish houses 3/4 cup Italian seasoned panko breadcrumbs. It's really important that you season it up with Italian seasoning, a little bit of oregano and parsley and garlic and onion powder, some kosher salt, because this is going to be the outside of your chicken, the crispy part, and you want to get a lot of flavor and deliciousness when you bite in. I'm going to get the pan ready for the chicken. We're going to bring our chicken, and we're ready for our 3-step dipping process. So first you put it in your flour. Next, it goes in your egg and hot sauce mixture. And lastly, right in that panko. And then you're gonna place it right on your baking sheet. And before I pop the chicken into the oven, I like to mist it with a little bit of olive oil or canola oil. And then you're gonna pop it right into the oven, set at 425 for anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes, depending upon how crispy you want the top. I'm using non-fat Greek yogurt as the base. Our next superstar ingredient is buttermilk, and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of low-fat buttermilk. And buttermilk's gonna give it a nice, tangy and creamy texture. Next, we have 2 tablespoons of a light mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, which is gonna add a lot of flavor without adding sodium, and then a 1/4 teaspoon each of ground black pepper and garlic powder. And garlic powder is so great for your heart. 1 scallion that's been finely chopped, and 1 tablespoon of minced parsley. That's it. Best part, you don't need a blender. All you need is a mixing bowl and a little bit of arm strength. And there you have it. Guys, it's that easy. This is your new favorite ranch dressing. Of course, I'm starting with a sweet potato. I'm gonna peel it. And now I'm gonna cut this into 1-inch pieces. And now I'm gonna add them to the skillet with 3 other sweet potatoes that I cut up earlier. And remember that secret ingredient I promised you? Well, here it is, carrots. Look at that color, is that gorgeous? They're each orange and vibrant. You want just enough water to cover them, and then you're gonna bring the water to a boil and let it simmer on a lower flame for about 15 to 20 minutes so the veggies get nice and soft. And we're gonna mash them up. I'm using an immersion blender, but really you can mash it by hand, or you can transfer it right into a blender or a food processor, and you can puree it that way as well. Now, halfway through, I like to add in my mix-ins. 1/2 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 2 to 4 tablespoons of whipped butter. And I'm gonna mix this around just by hand. And then I'm gonna finish it off with the immersion blender again. I made mine creamy and luxurious, but certainly you could leave some texture, some chunks in there. Now I'm gonna spread it out. And before we pop it in the oven, just one more thing. Marshmallows, because every sweet potato casserole needs a marshmallow topping. And it gets all melty and ooey gooey in the oven, and you get a marshmallow on every single bite. Oh, look at that. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells fantastic.